selecting those things. So, I mean, it was really kind of. Yeah. I love that. I love chicken barbecue.
And is it private?
Stand by. It said live.
It's not showing up on the.
I'll look through and look at the big ones and make sure they're all. The one I had a question for was when we did. For the posse that we cleaned up.
Oh.
I talked to them, I want to make sure they got paid.
Yeah.
And she thinks they did, but I don't have the fact. For the kids.
We tested it every time before meeting, it works beautiful. And then it goes into standby mode, and then it stops working.
But it had to be written to somebody specific, and Carl had to approve it. I'm going back, it was really okay. Oh. So Dawn told me.
Okay.
I just want to make sure she's good, her and I work on, just make sure that they got paid. So,
Okay. When I said that.
either make it just a little bit easier.
Well, we tested it every Wednesday before, and then it goes into standby, and it loses.
So like the sound is still working and our private video is still working, but it's not showing up live on the website. So when the meeting's all done, they can put it all back on there from the private, like it's on public, so that's fixed. I know that's working. And the system is, oh, look at that, we're not on there now. Switcher.
I know they were having problems with the internet in town earlier today too. If we're online, that's good.
There's a server error.
At least one of them's recording, all right?
Yep.
All right, we'll just
Yeah, recording.
go with that one. All right, today, July 22nd, Wednesday, call the regular city council meeting to order. Time is 6:03. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Present at today's meeting is myself, Chris Schmidt, Michael Burford,
Katie Gray.
Janine Nagel.
Eric Grant.
Lori Lewin.
Lisa Redmond.
all right. Approve or amend the agenda, any amendments?
I don't, but I think he does.
Yep, I would like to talk about the Joint Powers bill that we received. I'd also like to talk about lawyer expenditures, to make sure where we're at in the budget with that.
As it under, it's new business.
Yep, sounds good.
What was the second one?
Lawyer expenditures. put joint powers, at the top of the list for new business.
A motion to approve the amended agenda.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Consent agenda, motion to approve the following bills, check 0407853040808, totaling $78,048.43, and the July 8th, 2026 City Council work meeting minutes.
Do we need to add in for that second sheet? That's
That was done in after, I think it was approved.
It was after this. So we need to approve this one forward. I'll make a motion to approve the totaling of 78,048.43 plus the additional 142,79.49.
Chris, was that bill you were looking for? Do you even talk about that today out later then?
No, I think Lori and I were talking about what we had talked about on Monday, I think Tuesday, whatever, the money for the kids.
Yes, that was in between batches, in between meetings, and once it had been approved, to go ahead and do it way back, we just sent the check.
Okay, all right, perfect.
So is that on this run of numbers, or how, where does that get tracked then?
It was basically an additional one in between.
Yeah, so it was either probably like the work meeting and then the last council meeting, like in between those. So it would have been on
Okay.
one of those previous
Okay.
ledgers.
They're kept with each month. All of them, if they're done for some reason in between batches and not approved at a meeting.
Are they always on the claims list? But this is a claims list for approval, so maybe not.
Claims list is for all the checks that are just in this batch or this meeting.
Okay.
So we approved it before at
Right.
some, so
With a
it was.
motion, yeah.
It was one of those things where I saw going through the list that we had paid the posse, and it just struck up, well, did we pay that one too? Because I didn't see it on this, so it might have been before, so it was, the biggest thing for me was just making sure that they got paid for what they did, and I know
Yeah,
Lori,
there's really no paper trail of something to pay.
Yeah.
So, and when you said that, then I just generated the check right away.
Yeah. and I think if there's,
Do, get an invoice from them?
yeah, and I think if there's anything, any questions, we could probably, because I know Carl had to approve it according to Don Clinworth, so if we need a receipt for it, I'm pretty sure it would probably be pretty easy to say, hey, can we just get a receipt for it?
I think you honestly could just put the meeting minutes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said was just.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll second that.
I just wanted to make sure that they got it, so. We got a motion, we got a second, all in favor,
Aye.
opposed, motion carried. No old business, new business, we are going to start with the joint powers agreement bill that we wanted to bring up.
So, the joint powers bill, you said that you got, they sent us a bill was for the agreed upon per contract amount from May until now,
Maybe till end of the year.
until end of the year, okay? And, it was the per contract agreed amount. And you had said there were some errors to it, can you help us understand the errors?
The date on it was May, and when I had followed up with Brad asking why it stated May and not July, he had said, well, that's when you in effect became members, and I looked at the contract and it said it doesn't take effect until all the signatures are on the agreement, which was the end of June.
Okay, so,
Well, and let me rephrase that. When it was approved the end of June, by the time all the signatures got on it, it was July 17th. And that's what the agreement states when it becomes active.
okay, so Can you tell me how much that bill was for?
I have it. Oh, you wanna pass that down? I have the other one, but this is the first half. This is what we pay under the old agreement. This is the expenses. I mean, if you wanna see this, you can, but this is old, that's new.
Okay. When you guys, because I wasn't here, when you guys talked about this and had a conversation at city council meeting, what was the decision that the committee made about paying for joint powers? Was it to pay the contract proposed amount that was in the joint powers contract?
I don't recall. I don't recall.
What was your
But-
question?
What was their discussion at the time of the meeting in, well, I'm guessing it was before May, with the city council on what we would pay? Because from what I understand, there was a conversation about, we think we're really close to the finish line, we're gonna stop paying this, we'll pay this, we'll give you a bill when it's ready. And the conversation, from what I understand, and I don't have any documentation because I don't have the meeting minutes because I wasn't here, was that we would pay our percentage per contract that we were working on.
There was no conversation held to that effect. There was no conversation held to that effect.
Okay, so
We never had
when
any conversation
we-
about
So,
what we paid.
The conversation was had at the truck association in hopes that this would be figured out within the first quarter of the year, which it then got drug on.
okay,
And the talk for the first quarter of the year in the truck association meetings was the city of Goodhue would continue to pay the 22.5% of all building maintenance, and the levy that is held every year to fund the truck association would be split. How do I say this? 1/4 would be split without Goodhue, and then 3/4 would be split with Goodhue, correct?
No, it was split 50,000 for without Goodhue City and 125,000 with Goodhue.
That's how it was.
And, from my thinking is, it's a levy. It isn't hinged on a date per se. I know what it says, I know what was approved. But, if the city chooses not to pay the amount, then they need to follow section 8 in the agreement to say why, and so that the fire association can take that up.
I think there's a bigger conversation too, is I don't know what you guys agreed on, so that's really hard for me to throw back to. A date on a bill, we're not really disputing the amount of the bill, you wanted to have the date fixed on the bill, and then was your plan to pay the bill then?
Well, the date affects it, because it's 2 more months of us paying when we're paying 2 more months of the workers' comp. Otherwise, if it was May 1st, I would have canceled them off if they were
Yep.
switched at that time. But we have been paying workers' comp May, June, and now half of July. So I just said, do it retro. I responded to Brad, and I said, the date should be the end of June at a minimum, because that's when it was agreed to, but all the signatures didn't happen until July 17th.
So, and
So
we
it'll
stopped
change the
paying,
amount.
we stopped paying that 22% of the utilities also in May?
Well, their bill reflects that.
The bill reflects that.
Okay,
The old bill versus the new, I'll just state it that way. Old agreement, new agreement.
okay. So no matter what, we're asking that what we paid in workman's comp be like taken out of that total?
No, instead of dividing it by May through the end of the year for our total, should be July 17th through the end of the year. So we're paying more for the 2 months.
But we would ultimately pay our percentage. We're not paying them for May, June, July, right? For either utilities or the agreement, we're still gonna have to make up in that?
I just asked for a new invoice, so that would reflect through July, the utilities, and then reflect through July to December for the levy. to
So
get
this
new
one-
amounts.
Okay.
You want this one to go to July 17th, and then this one from July
That's
17th?
correct, and so it's gonna adjust not so much the amount, so much of the first half, but the second half it will, by 2 months. When you divide that levy, you divide it by 8 months, divided by 4, divided by 6, it's gonna be different.
Well, what's the 36,603 that we've already paid this year? What does that consist of?
Training that wasn't covered under reimbursements, and we just.
So this fire protection is 36,603 is all training?
That's what we pay for them, and then we just got another $2,000 bill last week.
Okay, so this has nothing to do with this then? These are two separate issues, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Per the old agreement, we had to pay training costs that were not covered as well.
So we would expect to pay the 22.5% in the workman's comp through July 17th.
According to the agreement, that's what it states, because it didn't become active until all signed parties signed it.
And then, so we would still owe a chunk for that prior time, and then after that would be July 17th.
Of the levy. It's operating expenses until July 17th, levy after July 17th.
That levy is prorated, then
So we're not disputing paying, we're just disputing on the amount to be paid.
Did you do the math? What is the difference? I'm just curious.
Like I said, every other city and township, when did they start? Did they go back to May or?
Every city and township, it didn't matter, because they were gonna pay no matter what. They didn't have a different agreement. The only different agreement that slightly changed them is how their percentage portion was factored. So, for instance, under the old agreement, I'm trying to think how to say this, your smaller townships will pay less. Yeah, under the old agreement, everyone paid like less. Goody wasn't factored in. And so with how we changed that, it did change how people paid, but everyone paid. We are the only township that is, I shouldn't say township, entity that is changing a large amount for.
That's one of the reasons that you need to follow section 8 if you decide not to pay, because you're affecting everybody else. Everybody else is paying based on the contract, the percentages that are out here. If you change, somehow that levy difference has to be made up. So that's why the board needs to handle it. They may, the levy doesn't change whether you pay. It's what's the difference here? Because we're paying, the other 9 entities are paying this much, well, the gap is here, and you're wanting to reduce the gap. And so that leaves the fire levy short by the action you're taking. That's why I'm saying you need to follow section 8 and also understand what happens under section 2 of the agreement when you take that action.
But wouldn't everybody else's rates change as well if they're going?
That's right. I'm sorry about interrupting a little bit, but if you don't pay your full amount and you want to file a grievance, my township can also file an agreement, because we paid the full amount based on the understanding that everybody's going to pay the new amount.
Well, and I guess
It's a levy, it's not a per day or per month type of thing. I believe that the association could assign you the levy December 30th, and you're still responsible, is my thinking and take on it. But the board has to handle it, and that's why it has to, the city would need to file their grievance and explain their reasoning. And then the fire association needs to look at how it affects them. What we do with that difference that's going to be there, do we reissue a new levy that everybody makes up the difference for what? I mean, the levy didn't change just because, and we understand there's a little bit of a date discrepancy, but we paid our part even though we were under the old It's a sore spot. If you do that, it'll be noted in the minutes, and like next year, if we didn't reach the levy, have to be addressed that way. The difference has to be made up. It doesn't disappear because of your action.
So the levy for 2/3 of 2026 is 28,300. So when you do the math by chance?
I don't think that number is gonna change at 28,300. I think it's gonna be that other portion where it's the
Doable change, because this is factored in 3/4 of the year, when in reality, let's say, it's more half a year.
So this one goes from January 1st to April 30th, it's $7,800. Well,
16.
total difference is $1,700. And this one is the balance due from the levy May through December, which is 28,300.
I guess my question is, who came up with the dates on this? Was it done through the association for the decision in May? So all parties at the association agreed to that?
Yes.
So it's- I'm so confused as to what the issue is.
So if the representative from the city of Goodhue went in and they agreed upon it, then
The representative from the city of Goodhue, it's a contentious issue if we have the same voting power previously or not.
I don't understand.
I mean, I think it's just, I'd love to know what the difference is, but I don't think it really matters at this point as much as it just needs to probably just get paid.
Paying 22% of bills.
Because I don't think it's tens of thousands of dollars.
No,
It isn't, when we brought up that date when we signed, and I looked at it and I said, well, this says May 1st, why is it? And he responded back, he said, well, that's when the association had you effectively became part of it on May 1st, and I thought, well, that's news to me that we were effectively part of it on May 1st of this year, when we've been paying workers' comp and all the other things just as normal.
So does that bill take into consideration the money that we did pay through like workman's comp already?
No.
So if we figured out what we paid in workman's comp and asked them to remove that from the levy amount, that would essentially put us at the same amount from the May to through the end of the year, correct?
I'm not certain what that amount's going to be, because we're going to be credited, and we won't get credited for May and June and July. We will get credited from now, July 17th on. So we won't get that credit for the months that we were effectively members of it, and we were paying double.
Did we already pay did we already pay for workman's comp through the end of the year?
We did.
Okay.
And I was waiting, because that's when we thought it was going to happen in the first quarter.
Sure.
And so Jerry said, either you can pay and get a credit, or wait, and I waited until 2 days before it was due, and I said, we don't have an agreement yet, so he said, pay it all, and then you'll get credited from the date that you stop. Sure. Till the end of the year.
And how much do we pay for workman's comp?
So their part of it is 87 and some change. 8700, yes.
8,700 divided by 12,
Or do we do this even cleaner, Chris?
6, 1,800.
Yeah, 8,700 divided by 12 is 725.
So 725 times 2.5 months is, we're looking at less than
$1,800.
$1,800. I don't think it's that big of a deal for $1,800.
I don't think it's gonna matter anyway. It was already agreed upon from the city at the association that was gonna be the date to start. So we're stuck.
I mean, it's $1,800. We've blown $1,800 in fuel.
It is what it is, and it's already agreed upon.
So I think we just keep,
Do you have it back? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll put it back in the box.
I think we just move forward and pay our share. It's $1,800.
It was just information.
No, and that's fine, and that's great information. It's, I mean, when I was here and I talked to, it was Brad, right? Yeah, so when he came here, so, if you, I just want to bring this up, because I don't know if anybody else has seen this. So, so what they've done is, which I thought was kind of interesting anyway, rounded it to the nearest.
Yeah.
You guys knew that, right? So it's not gonna come out even, so one month we might not pay $10, the next month we might. So that was, when he explained it to me, I mean, there's money covering in there, so I don't know, I think it's not worth the trouble for $1,800.
I agree.
So, it's good information and I appreciate that. It's, I think that this has been drawn out way too long, way too long. And I think we just need to do our portion. I mean, he's right. If we say, hey, we're not gonna pay this $1,700 or $1,800, well, then who's gonna pay it?
I don't think we can anyway, it was already agreed upon at the meeting, so I mean, it is what it is.
And I have one other thing, starting with you, but the official date of the document signed is June 29th. Even though every person's individual signature wasn't on there, that'll be the official.
That's
start date. That's the way it is. I mean, if you look at the signed document, I don't have it with me, but it's June 29th is the official start. Just because I had to wait or run around and get signatures, that is effect.
Everybody has lives.
Right, so, I mean.
No, I think it's good. It's great observation on y'all part, and thank you for that. I just hate it.
Do we need a motion or anything on that, Mr. Clark?
No.
Okay.
Just get in a batch.
Is there any other questions? I think it's kind of.
Do we have any other surprises that might pop up we don't know
I do think that they will buy a truck in the next 5 years, right?
I don't know, but yeah, trucks are
Just prepare for
extremely
that.
expensive, yeah, there's, I would say anywhere in the 2 to 5 year range, something's gonna
Yep.
come up.
I think that will be something that we'll see.
They bought a pumper truck, we need a tender truck.
Is that the one that looks like it's from 1960s?
Yes.
Big tank?
No, actually, that's not the oldest one. It's actually one of the newer ones.
But the same type?
Yeah,
the one with
yeah,
big tank?
Yeah.
It had, that truck has issues, so. Anyway, well, thank you.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
thank you. Thank you.
We know it's been a challenge and
We just-
whatever it is sometimes.
Just get her done, man. Get her done. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
All right, so next thing on is the city road closure request for the lines for the chicken barbecue. Same thing every year. Looks like they're just gonna block off from 2nd and Broadway to 1st and Broadway. There's nothing special about that.
I'll make a motion.
One second.
All in favor?
Thank
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried for the chicken barbecue closure. Next, data practices policy adoption.
We're contacted by the league saying we need to pass something by August 1st, and this is their template. I'd asked Bob if he had one that he had. He said, no, take theirs and modify it based on what your fees are and go with it.
So this is what our fees are gonna be done?
That's in our reflected from our fee schedule. That was approved.
He doesn't have to have paperwork saying.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure she had changed.
Yep.
Does it say how much it is in here?
Sorry if I sent a copy, $30 an hour.
So I guess how do we know for our last? We just got to know what they're asking for information.
Or based on what it is that they want. Yeah.
Okay. Minimum $30, so.
I appreciate that they provided us with a template. That's awesome. They're pretty good about that, though.
I do have, so let's say, owner comes down, wants to mechanic work, figure out your grant department, it's like, data privacy.
The consumer confidence report,
Yeah, like,
it's on the website.
oh, it is, okay,
That one,
Like, that's public knowledge.
yeah.
it has to be, but
Yeah.
it also only has to be posted once, which used to be they did something in the newspaper, that was it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's by law, it's all.
Now that costs us $1,000 to post.
All past years on the website, plus of course, yeah.
a motion to accept the template.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Final, lawyer expenses.
Do we get a detailed, expense report from the lawyer on the billing? So I've noticed something, and I just want to caution this, is that, we inquire with the lawyer a lot. And that is, great if it's part of our package plan that we pay for. But I think there's some things that we could not inquire with him so much on, and I don't, because I don't want to see us use that 30,000 budget. I'd love to save some of that, but I mean, we need to budget for it because stuff happens. Do we have so many inquiries that are covered with a package, or
We don't pay a flat monthly.
yeah,
So we'll have a retainer.
No,
Well, that was one of,
yeah.
one that I made, recently, we talked about Maggie, when we did the was the retainer. Several of the lawyers that we looked at the time of procuring the firm offer for was several other firms required a retainer. That was one of those things that we chose, we didn't want to have.
do we get an itemized statement from him when we?
Yep, and Lori breaks it down, and since we started tracking it in May of 2025 through now, Lions, Gas, School, and Truck Association has taken up 39% of our costs.
Okay. So
The other part is attending meetings, answering questions, if there's ordinance, any of the things that he has looked at, that we have had questions on, making sure that it is properly good. Resolutions, personnel policy was also that's included in this. We have been fully redid personnel policy, so it's not just one thing. This isn't Lisa calling him daily, because I never call him daily.
These are 39% of it was issues that were going on, the sale of the ball field.
yeah.
The closing of that.
I still think there's a money saving factor there that we should explore. I would like to suggest we explore is we have more of a filter on what we bring to the lawyer.
Oh, and there is, I do do
I
that,
think it's strong.
because that's why he hasn't been online,
Yeah,
um,
that's good.
for meetings for quite some time. And then he was online, but he was sitting there because the agenda got moved. So he had paid for that.
I would like to see that filter stronger. So how can we approach that? And do you guys agree?
I agree. I mean, obviously, we need to lower our budget, or lower our fees for going out to the lawyer. I do a lot of stuff over the last week. I know I was emailing back and forth, you guys saw it all of that stuff I got from LC. So, it's all out there, and it's free. I mean, what do they call it, submit a ticket.
I do that
Yeah.
also.
And we're not sitting here pointing blame or
Yeah,
anything.
I know,
It's just,
I do the member link, I ask other administrators, I do the local people first, and then I ask the other administrators, and I do the Minnesota cities also. It depends on what it is.
So the three examples just I've heard mentioned, and that's why I wanted it added to the agenda, is the data, the dog, and the joint power. All were brought to him, and I don't think any of that deserved his attention. And that's my personal opinion, so I'm very open to the council's opinion on that. But that could have been a conversation here, it could have been a conversation with Chris, which the dog thing was like, we could tackle that, but it sounds like it was already pursued. I don't think that those things are worth us pursuing the lawyer unless we have more than, just a little more behind what we're going to. So how do we get there? How do we put more filter on that? Do we ask that you go to Chris before you go to the lawyer?
I think it's, maybe me, maybe everybody answer is because, like I said, I just use League of Minnesota Cities for everything. And just like they have, you know, they reach out to people. I've got 2 people I work with that are on city boards that are St. Paul and cities and down
Yeah.
south. So I ask a lot of questions.
Just like you kind of reach out to your other administrators and stuff too. Those are good filters. Those are awesome resources.
But I think for ordinances, you can, I mean, when you say ordinances, are you saying that Bob's writing our ordinances?
No, he looks at them to make sure that they are
The legality
the
of it.
legalities of the ordinances we have.
And maybe those are things that just need to go home. I mean, maybe that's what we can kind of decide is like ordinances can get
And luckily the codification should.
help with that.
Yeah.
I think we'll make quite a bit of it, actually.
And I reached out to I asked that question to other people to see what they paid. And I got anywhere from a flat fee of $700 a month up to $27,000 a year of cities in our age. I mean, not our age, our size.
That's really true though.
That's how much they pay, or
Yeah, that's what
like
they're
regional?
paying, that's what they're paying for lawyer fees. Line item budget for legal also includes $6,000 for the Union County Prosecutor's Office. So that whole $30,000 isn't just Bob, it's including the prosecution.
Okay.
So we do pay a flat fee for that.
Okay, so how much of the 30 is the prosecution then per year?
5712, it's just under 6,000.
I mean, again, my personal opinion, I would like to see concerns for Chris or Mayor, or if Chris isn't around, your acting mayor, to filter through, to just have buy-in, just to get, like, bounce it off one of our people before we escalate to the lawyer for just a little bit of filtering to that, because we have the potential to save. Even $5,000 is a nice potential. All right, so that is my suggestion, and you guys can take it from there.
The bill that was just an FYI, one that was just $720.
Okay.
So it is going on. Because these things are all dropping off. These issues that she's been,
And you're finding more resources like you described, that's very helpful. Yep. Okay, so do we need to make a motion on that?
I don't think we need to make a motion as much as we need to just pay attention to it. You know, we've already said, you know, reach out to us, you know, reach out to your, because making a motion is a guaranteed thing. But she's already reaching out to other communities, but we're just asking, reach out to us a little bit more too, so.
Pretty much just make a lawyer our last resort defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely.
And I don't see any big things coming up, you know? Yeah.
That's not it, I think my favorite.
but it's only good until the first.
But yeah, I mean, the joint powers agreement is, we're finally done with that.
Yeah.
We don't have any tips coming up that, you know, for businesses, nobody's going that route. It just, I mean, the biggest thing that we have moving forward now is, one, the CIP, but that's gonna be something that is months.
So awesome though.
Right, and then the other thing is the thing you just mentioned,
Codification.
yeah, the codification, so, but we won't get into the codification because it's gonna take them months to complete that. So we shouldn't see any expenses that we've not really budgeted kind of for.
Yeah, I mean.
At least for a year.
Yeah.
We said codifications,
It's the down payment, because they want some skin in the game.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not a dollar.
Well, and that's understandable, but getting our lawyer
Just so
involved
you
to
guys
look
know
at it is,
that is something.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
so.
Okay, thanks Chris.
No, I like that idea. Thank you. Anything else for new business? No. Committee updates, anybody got any committee updates?
They'll just think through.
On the gas commission, we have one person that has, expressed, interest in the gas commission. Kyle is meeting with him on Monday,
However, if that does not go through, then the city will get involved and have to appoint somebody else to sit in on that because they can only sit vacant for so long. It's just not a lot of people are interested. The person that he will be coming in and talking to him this next Monday is a customer, not to be confused with somebody that lives within our community. So you don't have to live within our community to be on the gas commission. And the gas commission runs from, I don't know how far south it goes, but north it goes all the way up to.
Keith Carlson from his,
Okay, so Keith Carlson all the way up on 53, what, 2 miles up 53, I think? 53. The junction between 6 and, well, right past the cemetery.
6-1 into Red Wing, and 53 then your left as you go into Red Wing.
Comes out by House Ward.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I think it's about a mile or two up the road. That's where the main hub. Okay, same thing. I feel like I might. But it's up there on the left-hand side. That's the main hub for everything coming in from our area. So, so there's that. They had an inspection this last week, and everything went phenomenal. So it was really good, really good. So just a couple spots that they had to fix with ventilation. They had to extend a pipe out. So other than that, really good, really good.
Yes, a question on that. I know we get the yearly budgeting. Are we able to see that monthly? To get that in the minutes for parts of the meeting?
Which
gas?
The gas, you can. Yeah.
I just want to kind of look at it. I don't really see it much, so I just want
Yeah.
to, nice to see it with the rest of our financial stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of their, I mean, because we as a city don't pay any of that.
No, but it's good to see where they're sitting.
Yeah, I mean, they're sitting pretty good. They've got their one big loan that they have out there, which obviously that big loan was the one that ran from halfway down 6 into town to make it from what, 2 inch to a 4 inch, I think, or
And
1
then another 4 inch, I think.
Yeah, so, yeah, they're doing pretty good. So, but that's all I got for the gas side of it.
I do have to run. I'm gonna ambulance for you, so.
Peace.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. The Public Works report is in there. Anybody got any questions on that? Looks like they did that water line repair on the 6th, pretty good. Administrator comments, other than the data practices policy adoption, anything? Council comments?
How is the call log thing going? How is that experience going for you guys?
For the people that are complaining and swearing and all that good stuff on the phone, gee.
That was the only
Oh.
one. I mean, she's been logging it.
Okay. So no complaints that you want to talk about?
Right in the complaints database, all the other complaints,
Yeah, that was the only one. That's the only one since then, and you guys got the recap.
Okay. Just want to make sure we support on that. And then, I take it the dog incident was not a phone call, but more of a verbal incident?
And how it was reported to us.
Yeah, you had a visitor, right?
Oh, that was after, but it initially started with a phone call.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Not the complaint.
A complaint, a dog complaint,
The complaint started
Started
with
with
a
the
phone
phone
call.
call, yeah.
and then we shared with them the ordinances, trying to share with them the information. Sounds like the way it's not going to be.
Educate, I think was the correct,
I'm sorry.
trying to educate them. It wasn't we're not pointing fingers. It's
Yeah.
somebody, the way I took it was somebody may have been newer to town, they got a dog complaint, let's go and educate instead of pointing fingers. And
It was suggested at last year's meeting to maybe do that, so I tried it.
So when you went to the house, it was the same person that came down here and yelled, right?
It was the husband.
yeah,
The
it was
wife
two
was
different.
there. The
Okay.
husband came down within 20 minutes.
So the husband wasn't there when you
He
went?
was not there.
So the wife must have shared it with the husband got angry and came down. And I did talk to Kyle, and it sounds like, yeah, we didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
So it's just, I mean, we're alive, but anger type thing, so, or misinformation not on our part. I
Okay.
think is the best way I could probably put it, is just, we tried to educate, which I get it. That's what we're here for. I mean, I would much rather, take Deputy Sullivan, for instance. He would probably much rather educate somebody on the law than hemming them up or scroll around. That's why they have warnings. I don't look at it as a warning, I look at it as, this is education. Let's educate somebody. And I do that all the time with the ordinances. You educate these people. I mean, we've got a guy that runs his dog back by I call it Great Lakes, but it's not Great Lakes, it's Excel, the little substation back there. Well, that is not our property, that is Excel Energy property. Go left, it's our property, it's still City of Goodhue. If you want to run your dog without a leash, run it up the waterway. I guarantee you the farmers up there do not mind it. I've been doing it for 7 years, right? Educate. Well, a neighbor called and said, I just yelled at some guy because he told me I needed to obey the leash law. And I said, well, he's absolutely correct. You need to obey the leash law because you're on city property. So it's just educating these people, because in years past, that was not there. Nobody was educated. It was the wild, wild west. People did what they wanted when they wanted to do it, and now people are being held accountable for their actions. And that's the best way that we can put it, is we as a council and the city need to help educate these people. And I think what Lisa did that day, Lisa and Jason, I think it was a prime example of let's educate instead of point fingers. And we don't know what the spouse said to the husband that triggered it.
And I think the helpful thing for us to know is our community members too, and like you, and we hear things and we want to make sure that we know the facts too and how things went down. So it's helpful for us to know in these conversations too, so we can support. It is always a he said, she said thing, but that's why you brought Jason with you and trying to have a conversation. So it's nice to share. So I encourage you to share when you have those experiences so we can help support. It's helpful.
I guess an added benefit would be a way to, if we do this again, to video that interaction. So
What was
there's no-
video?
It should have been.
Not at the house,
Not-
here,
Oh, yeah.
not there.
I don't think we could just go up random city worker with the body cam.
Can't
And
video
that's-
something on private
yeah.
property, on their own
Yeah,
property.
you're on their property now.
That's why I asked Jason to just be the second, because I won't go by myself. Because of the he said, she said, it could get turned around even more.
I guess
And I
my,
agree,
my
though.
concern is too, is having even you and Jason going there, and let's say this was a tame incident, what if something got escalated?
So
Right?
you can videotape someone in Minnesota on their property, correct me if I'm wrong, if you perceive that they are a threat. Is that correct? Pardon me?
I'll have to look up.
Yeah, I think if you can do it, if you're perceiving that they're a threat to you.
And if nothing else, Minnesota's a one party state.
Right, it's a one-party state, I just think it's private property. It's-
I just think,
And obviously, when that happened, I do have a recorder on my desk just because of what has been transpiring over the last year, just because conversations like this happen.
Okay, so this is what, I hate to interrupt, but, so we talked about the documentation, right? And so this has been going on for a year, you said a couple meetings ago that you've been, this has been going on for a couple months, so like, I think this is a problem.
It's gotten worse. And when he came in, I was here. So that's why I didn't, because there's a second person. So otherwise, I would use the recorder because I am here sometimes. I'll go and staff please at 3:30.
But we can record audio here on those cameras.
But you have to go over, I talked to Chris about that. You have to go over, you have to log in, you have to go into configuration, you have to turn it on, and then at additional time,
So they don't record all the time, audio and video?
It's, video only because we have 5 cameras all around.
So I think maybe it would be beneficial that while business hours are on, if when we come in the morning, we just hit record audio, and if it's not needed, then we just delete it.
Yeah. But I did ask him if there was just
I don't know if
in
we're
that,
gonna delete that though.
in the corner, not in the corner, in that square, because that's generally where all the action happens, is right
I
there.
bet, yeah.
So I asked him if there was some, just audio only that could be up there and not tamper with all of the existing, because he said, well, we can upgrade it, we can do this. I said, what would it be? He's getting back to me.
Okay.
Just audio up in that little square entry.
And I think that would be good, and trust me, I'm not trying to spend any more money than we have to. But
But
at
if
the end-
people's safety
at
is
the end of the day,
in
it's-
risk, then we need
It's
to,
your safety, Lori's safety, Kyle's safety,
yeah, I mean, this is
Jason,
seeming like this
Todd.
seems like we've been
It's our
ambushed a
safety
lot.
for our employees.
It's making me worried. So I know there are cameras that you don't have to log in anything. They will continuously record audio, video. They'll zoom around in
And
circles.
there is, he and Chris knowing that we're money conscious, that he doesn't want to suggest something, so he's looking into it. He's
And
coming up
even
with
if it's
some
just
options.
no video, but just a mic that hangs down from the ceiling.
Something.
Yep.
Just a something.
We have those everywhere.
I know we
Just do
won't be able to
I
delete
mean, our
them,
cameras
we
were
don't
$2
need them,
grand.
because if somebody FOIA requests that audio, we'd have to have that available.
Correct. But what I'm saying is like, we would not delete something, we would delete something if nothing was there. Like,
And the cameras automatically, they only
yeah,
hold so much.
yeah, just like my cameras at
Per
my
job.
house, after 7 days, it dumps everything unless I go in there, and I do every single day. I look at, is there an incident? Okay, I'm gonna save this, but let's dump everything else. So,
And
it
there are
should-
times I do look at it.
Yeah.
There, somebody's dumping something or,
right, so that was kind of my thing that I was gonna bring up, was I think we need to look into, and it sounds like you're already talking to Chris, into something in this building that audio records in that area. And I think by doing so, we may, that's where I was trying to click with the LMC, we may have to post it.
Yeah,
on the
that's
door,
what I was
Yeah.
on.
which says the premises
And let's
is
see what
audio
Grace
and
comes
video
back with,
recorded.
because, Matt does this for a living too, so.
So,
Okay.
all right,
And I would suggest, I guess if we have interactions, like you said, in audio, should just record conversation.
well, and like I said, Kyle was here, so that's why I didn't even pick up the recorder, because otherwise I would.
Yeah, I guess my more concern is like when you went to the house to just give them the heads up of what, ordinances to
okay.
audio record those conversations, so when he comes in, well, this is what my wife told me, well, we have video or audio recording, if you'd like to listen to it, and this is what we did. And
That will
might-
not be received well.
No,
I mean, obviously, yeah.
At that point, I think mail it to them. I mean, I know we were trying to get it, I know we were trying to do something good there, so I commend you for that. I want that to work, but it may be backfired on us a little bit. We could just mail it to them next time, or ask the sheriff if they will go down and just talk to them, not issue a ticket. I don't know.
Or just be present, because I think that they would probably be more than willing to be present when you talk to somebody. Again, it's education, right? So, I don't know, I think that's a good
If
point.
you're not comfortable, please know that you can always just mail it to them too.
I'm okay with it. I don't want him,
You can call me too.
I don't want anybody doing this to staff. They come to me because
Well, they should be good to you.
if they want to.
Exactly.
He said, who do I know that? And I said, I'll take it.
Nobody, be kind.
I said, I'll take it.
Yeah, and Kyle said pretty much that same exact thing,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
it's-
No, it's hard. Okay,
Yeah.
well, thanks for trying.
All right, well, that was my comment too, so thank you guys for trying to. Public comment from any of our 9 guests? Nothing.
Nothing, got nothing.
All right, get a motion to